welcome to episode 17 of That's So You. My name is Diane, also known as Mrs. You Makes or Yummy Triplet Mummy across the social medias, but I'll put specifics up there. If this is your first time viewing, thank you for joining us, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. This is mainly a knitting podcast, but sometimes there's also some crochet and some other crafty bits. Today is Tuesday the 20th of February. It has just gone or going to 10 o'clock. I think it's around 10 o'clock now. As you can probably hear, little miss is here. She's just watching some TV at the moment, and the boys are in school after the half-term. What are you doing? Be careful. After the half-term holidays. Why are you standing behind there? You can't see anything. No, come here. You have to come in front. You can't see anything from there. They're back in school after the half-term holidays. Listen, it took me a long time to get this set up. You think you're funny, don't you? Right, back to business. For today's episode, I have a sort of finished object. I have a couple of whips, some goodies, and a waiting in the wings. So let's get started with done and dusted. So my first my only sort of finished object, it's finished in the sense that I'm not going to be doing any more crocheting on it, but it's not finished in the sense that it's a completed item. And it is this crocheted project bag or notions bag that I've made. For a while I've wanted to make some project bags, but because I am not much of a sewist, I knew it would be a bit of work to make your traditional project bags such as this one. So I thought, since I know how to crochet or knit, I could knit or crochet one, and I've decided to go with a crocheted one as I thought it would be quicker to do. So I made this over the weekend. This is made using Knit Picks Swish DK. I received this free when I got some yarn as a D-stash. There's no colorway here, it's just a number given, I think. Oh, sorry, there is. There's a green tea heather. I don't know if you can see that there. So I'm guessing that is the green. For the yellow, I don't have the yarn band for that. That is in one of my pockets somewhere. Yeah, I was wearing my robe once when I was making this, and I had the yarn ball in my pocket. So the band is there. But yeah, just nothing special, something nice and simple. I've just done a square base and then picked up stitches all around and then continued crocheting in the round there. I started off with single crochet. I'm using US terminology. I always forget what the UK terminology is. But I started off with single crochets, then moved up to half double crochet. Nobody wants to see your biscuits. And then went on to double crochet. And then I've made a sort of flap there so I could weave in some, do you mind? So I can weave in some cord or ribbon or something to tie it off with. Then I also have some fabric, which I'll show you during goodies, that I'm going to use to make a lining for the middle. I might still crochet a bit more at the top, just so that when it's kind of scrooched in, you still have a bit more hanging up the top. But yeah, I do plan on making more of these, but I'll probably make the notions pouches a little bit smaller and then do larger project bags. Maybe just starting with something that's a sock size initially, and then if they do look good enough, they may go into the shop. So yeah, that's my only sort of FO so far. Speaking of the shop, I do have an Etsy store where I sell my knitting and crochet patterns and also stitch markers. And speaking of a crochet pattern, I'm wearing one of my crochet designs. This is the Diamante Shrug. I'll just dump a bit more. And back. So it's just a simple shrug. Nice, easy construction. I can't remember what the yarn is, but I'll put the details of that there. So yeah, I made this, I can't remember when it was now, but I had this tucked away in a wardrobe somewhere during the summer, and when I was rearranging some things, I stumbled across it. I don't know why I forgot it was there, so I have been wearing this for quite a bit over the week, and it is nice and cozy, but at the same time lightweight. It's great that you can wear something long sleeved underneath, so it's nice for walking around the house and great for going outside in the cooler weather as well. So that's the Diamante Shrug. So I've done and dusted. The next thing I have is what's on the needles. So my first whip is a well, I wouldn't really say, is it a mauve? No, not a mauve color. I'd say I'm halfway through. If you saw last week's episode, not last week's, but the last episode, episode 16, I showed my the first sock in the Fairly Odd Socks Volume 2 collection, which I've sort of got a name for now. So I've been since then working on sock 2 for the Volume 2 collection, and I finished the first foot of sock 2. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that. So this is sock number 1 of sock 2. A bit of colour work taking place, but not something that's difficult to do. You can see here where I've changed colour, it's a bit tighter there, so I just need to loosen that up on the second foot when I make it. So yeah, I already know the name for this one. This is the Sisters Not Twins sock. So that's going to kind of match up with the Brothers Not Twins, but it's not going to be the same sort of stitch pattern that's being used. You can't say hello. She wants to show you all her biscuits. Are you eating it?
Yes.
Is it yummy? Okay. So yeah, so this is the first sock of the Sisters Not Twins socks. So I will soon start on the second foot. The yarn for this is Coop Knits Socks Yeah. Colorway, I always forget this. I believe the sort of pinkish corally one is Ammonite, I think. I can't remember what the tanned one is, but I will put details of that on the screen. So yeah, I'm really liking the way it's turned out. And just waiting to see how the other one will turn out as well. And is that the only one I have? Sorry, just looking for my notes. Be careful, be careful. Oh no, it's not. I have another whip. So my second whip is the Breathing Space sweater by Vera Valiamaki. This is where I am up to so far. Last time I showed this, I was I've just used this to mark the front, sort of just before the colour work starts. So I'm now about an inch away from working the waist increase. So yeah, I'm happy with how this is turning out. The green yarn is Artisano Definition sock in the excuse me, in the crocodile colorway, and the contrasting color is Third Vault Yarns Librarian sock in the girl colorway. I was using some generic needles, I believe 4mm. I've now switched to my Addi Clicks because the cable is a lot longer. I've tried this on a couple of times and so far it's fitting nicely. So yeah, it's a very straightforward pattern, easy to follow. I'm aiming to try and finish this before the end of the month, or at least by the beginning of next month, so then I can move on to one of my other sweater projects that I want to work on. Yeah, it'll just make it, I've given myself 3 months to make each sweater. I want to try and do 4 by the end of the year, so it'll be great if I can finish this end of February, beginning of March, so then at least I know I am ahead of myself. So yeah, turning out very nicely indeed. So that is the only other whip I have. So and this is living in my Diva bag, which I received as a gift along with a prize I got from Kim the Crafty Nomad, who has a shop called Ebony Pearls on Etsy, where she sells her handmade bags. So if you can get yourself one of these, it's amazing and really nice size. Yeah, so that is what I have to show you in terms of projects. Now moving on to goodies. The first goodie I have is what you've sort of... What are you doing? It's one you've sort of seen before. It's this Zaba ball. I got some of this. It wasn't a full skein, but I got some a few months ago as a D-stash. So I found another ball. This is a full ball, again on D-stash. Can you stop throwing toys?
I need to try.
I'm going to use this for my Fairly Odd socks. I have an idea for what I'm going to use it for. So this was the original one I had. There is, I think there was 79 grams here. So this is a full ball, so it means I can pretty much have, yeah, full reign. I can do lots of stuff with this now that I have a second ball. So it leaves open the, yes, hold on, it leaves the options open in terms of what I want to do. I do have an idea of something I'm thinking of doing. So that's one video I've got. Another one is in relation to this bag, is fabric. Those of you in the UK will know the store Aldi, and you will know the middle of the aisle section where they have these random things that they sell, usually household items. Well, I was there on Sunday. Well, I was there 2 weeks ago, and they had some fat quarters on sale. I didn't buy them at the moment because I wasn't sure at that time, because I wasn't sure if I was going to use them for the bags. But since I made up this bag, I thought it's most likely that I am going to make these bags now, so I might as well get myself some. It's fine, it's fine. Use the cloth to dry your hands. Well, I use your shirt instead then. So they had these fat quarters available. This is a Peter Rabbit inspired one. Can you stop that? And I don't know how well you can see that there. This one, and also this one as well. That says Mischief Maker on it. And then there's this one, which is just a generic set. So there's just a striped one, spotty, one with these. It's there. And then they've also put in instructions for making a quilted bag. Wherever you can see that there. And another stripy one, a nautical themed one, and one with bikes and so like a seaside beachy one there. Yeah, so I'm happy with those. They were $3.99. This one has 6 inside, and this has 5, so I thought that was a really good price. So they would be used for the crocheted project bags that I will be making. Now, I would have had another whip to, well, I do have one whip to show you, and I'm not whip, another goodie to show you, but I would have had an extra goodie to show you. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I purchased a gleaner. I used it for a couple of days and then noticed that it wasn't working so well. I had been using it to defluff my socks, and then on one evening I was trying to defluff the Ijoma, what's it called, Ruana that I had made, and it just didn't seem to be working so well. So when I looked at the blade, the number 1 blade I think it was, I could see that the black stuff that actually takes off the fluff had worn away, so it was just like a white plastic thing that was underneath it. And I also looked at the number 2 blade and noticed the same thing. So I bought it off eBay, but from JML, which, what's up? It's okay, it's okay. I bought it from JML through their eBay site. Nobody wants to see your belly. Through their eBay store, and oh, sorry, there's so much stopping and starting here because of this one and all her antics. So as I was saying, I can't even remember where I was, but I noticed that it had been wearing away. I had bought it from the eBay store for JML Direct, which is a sort of discounty household goods sort of place here. It was on sale for £5, even though I know they're normally on sale for 20, but because it was from JML, I thought, you know, and they were showing it as being on sale, so I thought, you know, it's JML, it's a well-known company, I'll buy it. If I had been just a random seller, I wouldn't have bought it. So I messaged them and they replied back giving me the phone number to call. Called them up, and then the lady who I spoke to just said, okay, just return it to us and they'll give me a replacement. So I've done that, and I'm just now waiting to hear from them regarding that. So yeah, just have to wait and see what happens there. So my final goodie that I have, oh, but when I do get the gleaner back, I will be filming a short video just giving my review on it, so look out for that. Now my final goodie is something that I have been wanting to get for a long time, but I've been putting it off. One, because of the cost, even though it's not greatly expensive, but it is, for me, something that's, in terms of the price, I think I could get myself 2 skeins of yarn for that. And it wasn't something that I desperately needed, but just kind of thought life would be made easier if I had it. And that is a yarn swift. I know you can get some on Amazon and places like that for around £16, but they're the plastic ones. But reviews that I've read on those have always been mixed. So I really wanted to get the wooden Swifts. So finally I just decided to bite the bullet and just get one. And I purchased this one from Deramores. I think it's Deramores or Deramores, I never know how to pronounce it. It's from Sheep G's, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's a rosewood Swift. I've used it a couple of times, once to wind the skein into a ball and also to do the reverse, and yeah, it works really, really well. The kids think it's amazing whenever I bring this out. They don't know what it is. They keep asking so many questions about it, but I just love the way it looks, and I'm glad I bought this. It was, I think, £28 from Deramores, which I thought wasn't bad. It's a good price, and it comes with these. Let me just get them out of the bag. It comes with these screws to help you attach it to the table, and also the smaller one is just to keep. Where is it? The smaller one is to keep this in place so you can position the script where you want it. So yeah, that is so good, and I'll most likely be using this later this evening to wind up a ball of yarn for the next project I will be working on, which I will discuss with you now. So moving on to Waiting in the Wings. The next project I'm going to start, I will probably either, bless you. You don't want me to say bless you? Why not? Alright, that's fine. I'll take it back. The next project I'm going to work on, which most likely I will swatch for either this evening or maybe tomorrow, is going to be a sweater for one of the triple arters. And I forgot to bring the yarn out for that. It's going to be the Hermes sweater. This is not the original picture, but it's the only one I could find that didn't have someone else's child in it, so I thought it would be the best way to show you, which is this. So I'm going to make this for Mr. Man, as well as making 4 sweaters for myself. I thought I'd try and make each of the kids something for them. So since I made Little Miss a cardigan just before Christmas, I'm going to make each of the boys something and then make her something again towards the end of the year. So because I've looked at my stash to see what yarn was there that I could use, and the one I'm going to use for this is the one I felt best suited Mr. Man. So I'm going to use that to make this for him. It's going to be the leftover yarn I have from Lamington Lash Ichabod, and also a skein of yarn I have from Third Vault Yarns in... What are you doing? You've undone it?
Yeah.
Oh goodness, and you're very pleased with yourself, I can see. It's a skein of yarn I have from Third Vault Yarns in it's in the Blast Ended Scroot colorway, so I'm going to use those two for this, but I'm not going to separate the two colors. I'm just going to start with the Ichabod and just work my way down and then work the sleeve. So I'll use, because I don't know how it would look using maybe one color for the body and another for the sleeve, so I'll just work it as if it's being worked in one color, because they're both Blast Ended Scroot is a variegated yarn. I'll see if I can have if I have a picture. I should have. I'll put it up on the screen. It's a variegated colorway, and a part of it is this sort of rusty reddish color, and Ichabod is a very what's the color? Deep reddish brown color. So I'm thinking I start with that and I could just work my way down into the Blast Ended Scroot colorway. So that's what I plan to do for him, and the reason why I'm using those two yarns is because not this weekend gone but the one before, actually no, it was the last day of term. It was for Chinese New Year. They in their school they asked the children to wear something red. So Jimmy Jr. was wearing his Atlas sweater, which is mainly red, and when he came home there was just this big gaping hole just under his sleeves, and also another hole somewhere else. I asked him how it happened. He said he doesn't know. And also Mr.'s sweater, which he wore some time ago, has 2 holes in it. One was just around the yoke, just below the collarwork yoke section. Another one was on his arm. Those I managed to mend a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's moths or something that's bitten into them, or if they've snagged it somewhere, but just the way it's sort of snagged and the stitches have come out the way it has, I just think I'm just going to try and use better quality yarn. For those ones I use a really cheap yarn. It wasn't bad to work with, but because of the amount of yarn I had to buy, I didn't, and also because it's them, Yeah, I didn't want to go into my stash and use my really good yarn, but I'm just thinking now I might just start, especially if it's just sweaters. At least then it's something that they're going to be wearing most of the time when I'm with them, and as soon as we get home they take them off and I take it back and put them away. So yeah, I think I'll just start moving on to using nicer yarn for them. So yeah, that's the only kind of waiting in the wings projects I have at the moment that's going to be started up soon. Yeah, so I showed him the pattern, he was alright with it, and the yarn as well, he was fine. I don't think he'll be too fussed until I start making it and he realizes it's for him, and then the other two will start asking where their one is. So yeah, I think that's all there is. Nothing much to say in terms of what's up with you. I've already mentioned they were on half-term holidays. Yeah, we mostly spend the time at home because of the weather. I didn't really do a lot, and other than that, nothing much has really been happening, just general day-to-day things. So yeah, I think I will let you all go to enjoy the rest of your day. Do check out the Ravelry group. There is a Ravelry group called Mrs. You Makes. There you will find you can take part in chatter, though at the moment I'm really the only person who kind of does stuff, so it'd be great to get some more blood in there. There's also some recipes and tutorials there, videos which I've done in the past, and I am trying to get the time and opportunity to do more of those. And you can ask me questions and show off what you have been making as well. The show notes for this episode will be there too. And what else? Yeah, I think that's about it. So do like, share, comment. All of those are more than welcome. And do come back again for the next episode. Bye.